that are available for that as well. But like anything that you're thinking about for our kids with exceptionalities, you can go to this website and find information. So it's a lot of good stuff that's there. And they go through even talking about, and like they've got their disclaimer that for a lot of these they're not endorsing any specific programs. For example, if you were using like SRA Reading Mastery, there might be online resources that align to that. So you can go through, and there's an entire Google site that just has tons of stuff. Like you can go through and see like Letterland, like there's a ton of different resources that they just have. So it's a lot of support and information. Like I sent, for example, as an EC director, I sent it out to all my teachers so that they had access to it. If you can go on to the next slide. So these are a variety of different resources. Like currently right now, I'm the membership tier for the Council for Exceptional Children for North Carolina's division. And so if you click on the first one right there, that's actually from the Council for Exceptional Children. That is our biggest organization for students with disabilities in the world. So they have a lot of great things there as well. And like I said, I've tried to share out with my teachers and with you all free resources that are available. And they just have, like I said, they keep that updated. That's directly related to, like, they try to discern and give out information related to the Office for Special Ed programs. They're both based out of the DC area. So anything that comes down, like, it gets pretty well quickly disseminated. So, and there's even, and for Kelly, like there's resources that they have for higher ed professors as well. So they have just a variety of different things. If you want to go on to the next one, I'm clicking on mine so I could keep distance learning for special ed. And these are just a variety of different resources that I've added for you guys. Just a lot of different information that I found. And like I said, I shared all these with our teachers, but this is just for your information. Like if you haven't had access to a lot of different websites, to give you guys a variety of different things that are available and out there. I've even had teachers that are already on summer vacation, like emailing me and asking me, hey, have you got anything new that's coming out? Because a lot of our teachers, we actually are going to move toward, we have Microsoft Teams, but we also purchased Google Classroom. So for some of our teachers, they're already going through and trying to prep their classes for the fall because we don't know exactly what it's going to look like. We've, just for FY, this every county in the state has had to provide by the end of this month to NCDPI a remote learning plan. So whether it's going to be, whether we're going to go through cycles of things that are fully remote, whether or not we're going to have half our students in classrooms and half doing remote learning, we're not quite sure. That's to be determined. But we did have to submit what we're going to do, what our plan is going to be for the fall. So our county's been working on that. And so it has to be due the end of this month. So that's why some of our teachers, just in case we do, you know, like fully remote or part-time remote, they're already deciding that they wanted to go through and start prepping, which is wonderful. So, but not that everybody has to do that, but they just wanted to go ahead and get a head start on that. So like I said, there's tons of resources I'll be providing to you. If you click on the next one, Kelly, the supporting individuals with autism through uncertain times. This is one, actually, if you guys were not aware, UNC Chapel Hill has a program, the Frank Porter Graham, and they've actually created for kids with autism and families with autism a lot of different modules called the Affirm modules. So within that, so if you're looking for information, or like they have at the top of it, it says like earn C credits. So there's a lot of different modules that you can earn credits. If any of you guys are bored this summer and want to earn some CEUs, they have some available there as well. But they actually have created programs, and all of it's free. But they've created this COVID-19 toolkit and like helping to support families with autism, because some of our kids with autism really struggle in trying to understand what's going on right now during this time. And so they've got some resources, some great free resources available there as well. But if you weren't aware, they do have some really wonderful modules with autism. And then there's a couple other ones on there, the top 12 websites for children with learning disabilities. So I tried to just pull some different resources that I've used previously to help support our teachers. And if you scroll through there, there's a variety of different programs that are available. And again, a lot of these are free. Some will have, you know, like some of these may say like there's a certain fee for using them, but one of the things that's been going on now with COVID is a lot of places that previously were charging fees have minimized their fees or have made resources available for free. So for some, like for example, there's some, and it's not even on here, but there's a program for social emotional learning called Give Thanks. I know that that's free for the following school year. So just a lot of things that may be available that you wouldn't like have access to. Now we have access to it for free. So I've encouraged my teachers to try out some new things. And then there's another one, the 25 best websites for teachers. Again, some of these are going to be free right now. So it's just information to provide additional support. As I say, does anyone have any questions right now? I'll take a break for a moment and answer any questions if y'all have them. Okay. Well, if not, we can continue on. Kelly, you can go to the next slide. And these are a variety of different programs. Screencast-O-Matic, I actually previously used as a professor, but there's that one. I'm trying to think of what the time limit is. I want to say Screencast-O-Matic has 15 minutes that you could, like, if you wanted to do a short lesson for students, like 15 minutes, like the free version you can use. The other one that was on there, the Screencastify, that one I think does like 5-minute lessons that you can record. And like I said, these are free. They do have paid versions of these, but I'm all about having people try things for free. And then if, teachers want to invest, or for some of us, there's certain programs we can purchase for them. But I wanted people to try out different things. We've got WebEx on there, which we're using right now. Padlet is another thing that you could use for students. Like, for example, if you were doing a lesson in real time and you wanted your students to respond to it's kind of like a discussion board, but it's almost like in the format of like if you were putting sticky notes up. I've used Padlet for years. That's a wonderful resource and it's free. And you have paid options within that, but it's just something if you wanted to get information in real time. Quizlet and Kahoot are other ones that are similar in that you can create quizzes for students online that they can access with both of those. Have any of you guys used any of these programs before, other than WebEx, because we know we're using that right now, but if anyone's found one that they really enjoy using? Kahoot. I see Lester's responding. And Kahoots, we do actually for our EC division at NCPI, they like to use Kahoot a lot as well. And you can go on to the next slide, please. And these are some other programs that are available. Our speech language pathologists have been using Boom cards. And I saw someone, Loretta was responding, I think, with Quizlet. But these are just some programs and things that you can create and this has for students some different things that you can play around with. And like I said, I was just providing these resources. Also, if you go to, and I think I put the link on here, our Sampson County EC page, I created an entire remote learning website for families so that there was things that if they wanted access to. Our speech language pathologists put a lot of stuff online as well. If you wanted to create PDFs, I love PDFs. So these were just a variety of different things, but like Bookshare is where you can actually get access to books. So if parents wanted to read a book at home with their kids, they could have access to it. Book Builders, where they can actually create a book. So if you want to do something as a class, that was to say Bookshare. Parents can either sign up for it or teachers can sign up for it, but that is free for kids with disabilities. You do have to show that your child does have a disability. The CAST is from the program, the Universal Design for Learning Book Builder. So like if you wanted to create a book as a classroom, as an online activity, say you were studying something in science and you wanted to have students provide their input and information that they've been learning, they could put it in a book. So it's just another fun activity. Like I said, I tried to pull different things that teachers might be interested in using, but I love PDF as a way to create PDF files for free. So a lot of good stuff. Sampson County is one of the lowest funded counties in the state. So we have learned to use a lot of free resources. And here's some other information that I provided to my teachers that I'm sharing with you as well, like how to download and save YouTube videos. Like if there's something that you want specifically for students to have access to, you could create it and put it, save the YouTube video and put it online for them. So that's one of the things I always told people is like anything that's put on YouTube can be saved forever. So like if there were things that I came across as a professor that I wanted to use in my classes later on and wasn't sure if that YouTube link would work, I'd go ahead and save it. Microsoft Office Lens turns your device into a scanner. So if there's things that you're doing at home and you wanted to access and like you can actually create a scanner. And then if you're using Zoom and you wanted to do a fun virtual black background, there's some information on that. So it was just kind of neat things to provide some links. Like I've seen people that have done the ones like on the beach, fun stuff. You're sitting there like, wow, that's really cool. So yeah, unless if you're sitting at home and you didn't want, everyone having access to what's going on in your background at home and you wanted to create a virtual background, you can do that in Zoom. And here's some additional like learning opportunities. Like I said, for CEUs, we had a lot of teachers that wanted to access and work on, because we had the June, they had to get them in by the end of this year, by the end of June, in order to make sure they had their CEUs up to date. I actually was one in that position myself. So I had access to a lot of different ways that they could earn CEUs. So there's the IRIS Center, there's autism webinars from the Autism Society. Also, the Autism Organization has some as well. ASCD provides a lot of free professional development. Like I said, a lot of these are free now just because it was just an extension to help support teachers. But the IRIS Center, and just a background on the IRIS Center itself, that was created for regular ed teachers as a resource, and they found that the information wasn't being disseminated. And so now they've got like the new module right now, Parents Supporting Learning During COVID pandemic. But basically what they found was if they gave the information to special ed teachers, like somehow then it got like disseminated to teachers. But they have hundreds upon hundreds of resources available, and you can just link and see. They have modules. Each of the modules is supported by the Office of Special Ed Programs, but my understanding and what they were talking about, because I actually went through a training with the IRIS Center, is it costs them about $200,000 per module that they've created. So they have a ton of free resources. If you have parents that have a child that's newly been coded or diagnosed with autism, they have information like you can just go in there and type in autism, or you can go through and click out through all the different resources. But they have pamphlets on pretty much every type of disability that exists. Like they have just a ton of resources. Even when I was a professor at UNCW, there were certain ones that if we did a class online, I couldn't do it any better than they had done it. So there were certain things where it was like, okay, we're doing this module through the IRIS Center. So they just, like I said, they have some wonderful resources there. And Kelly, if you want to go on to the next one. There's also the Center for ADHD Awareness in Canada actually created some webinars, and those have a minimal fee of $10. Inside Mathematics had some great webinars and activities like for CEU credits. And then Prism is an actual experiential game that teaches empathy toward kids with autism. So that was just something, like I said, different things for people to be able to explore. And so there's some, I actually attended a webinar specifically related to our kids that are deaf or hard of hearing, which we may be working with in our classrooms. Sometimes in a regular classroom, we may be using a microphone, whereas that's a little bit different when we're doing virtual learning. So I went through and came up with some, and 3 different things that I've been to share with my teachers, some platforms that we can use for our kids with hearing impairments. If you want to go on to the next one, Kelly. So these are different ones, like Screencastify has some things where you can embed the captions in using Capwing to caption. And there's some YouTube videos. And these were some people at NCDPI actually created videos related to this. So we won't go through all them given on just our time, but there's a variety of different things. Like, so for example, if you're doing a Zoom lecture for your students and you wanted to create it so that way they would have access to it with the captions, you can go in and actually create those. If you do anything within YouTube itself, they do have a way to caption it. But it's not always reliable. So if you go in, you want to double check that what they're saying is really what you're saying or intending to say. But there's some information. This was actually provided by one of the hearing impairment teachers in Pitt County. And some that may be using Microsoft Teams, they had some information related to this, like how to troubleshoot that if you're having an interpreter that's actually live and interpreting. So if you click on the next screen, it has some information related to that. And this was a teacher in Onslow County that was showing like how to do that. And like I said, there's a lot of different resources. Even if you go, like I said, their NCDPI, their hearing impairment on that resource site, they have some of this information as well. And so other resources that you can share with families, like I said, Sampson County, I actually created a website for, it's on our EC division website if you go to Sampson County, but I created one specifically for parents where I put a lot of information available to help support them in dealing with COVID. But the EC division has a parent newsletter that they put out every year, or not every year, every few weeks, that parents can access and they can sign up for. So it's directly emailed to them. And then I put our link for Sampson County that has our EC remote learning website. So if you want to click on that, Kelly, that Sampson County one, and I'll just show you some of the things that we did. Our speech language pathologist and our OTs actually created lessons. So I downloaded those there, and I had all the schools put links to those. So if you want to scroll through, so all our speech lessons are available there. We did them in English and Spanish. Our OT lessons are there. Then we put a variety of other resources and support for families. Like our library was doing a lot to help support families during this time as well. The Exceptional Children's Assistance Center is a wonderful program, or actually we have one of the best actually in the nation as far as parent resource centers. And so the link is available for that as well. But we just provided support for our families because that was one of the things we knew that was going to be a challenge throughout all of this. And then there's some other information like coronavirus resources from understood.org. That's a program or a organization to help support our students with disabilities. So they provided a lot of resources as well, because that's one of the biggest things is for a lot of our students is really just struggling how to, this is like we say, the new normal, but for kids with disabilities that really struggle with transitions, they need a lot more support than we typically provide them in the home environment. And so for families, a lot of times they're not used to this. They're used to seeing their kids on the weekend all day, but not having them home all day and like how to support them. So there's a lot of different information for families, like how to do schedules, how to do activities for students at home. If you want to go to the next one. And then there's also the Autism Research Institute created some information as well when it comes to dealing with the anxiety that may be going on for students during this time. So there's a lot of support here for teachers as well as for our students that are at home and their families. Like one of the things I keep thinking about, the exercising during COVID, that's something I keep saying I'm going to do, and it doesn't seem like I do a lot of that. And are there any questions or any ways that I can support you? Oh, our power just went out for a second. Hopefully I'm still connected.
You're still here.
Okay, good. Because our thing blinked a couple times, like, that's not good. Yeah, it does not want to. Yeah, something's going on.
So does anyone have any questions for Alicia? I hope it's okay if I'm
No, that's fine. I was laughing. It might be good that we're ending around this time because.
So I wanted to thank you for sharing all of these amazing resources.
You are welcome.
For EC, people who teach EC students, but I was gaining a lot of information too for me. So thank you so much for all of that information that you're sharing.
You are absolutely welcome. And as I come across more, I'll just send them to you, Kelly.
That sounds perfect. So if anyone, one last time, anyone have questions? I want to thank you all for hanging in there, and Alicia, you too, because I know it can be really stressful. And so our next step is to go back to the main meeting. So you're going to go back to the main room, and you have access to that, and it's uncp.webex.com/meet/Karen.Granger. So we will see you all there. And again, Alicia, thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone attending. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.